This is confusing. Bungie, in today's weekly story mission, we had the conclusion to episode Heresy's narrative. And the start of this video, we won't cover any spoilers. We'll save that for the latter half if you haven't jumped into it yet. So that way we can talk a little bit about what is going on and why every Destiny 2 player right now is extremely confused. I've seen it on Twitter, all the content creators, everyone is wondering what just happened in Heresy. So if you don't know, we are in Act 3 right now. It's week 2, and the seasonal story comes up Tuesday at reset like normal, and we're kind of expecting that this is the second week and that next week is going to be the conclusion, but for whatever reason, it seemed like it did maybe 2 weeks in one, and so we actually got the conclusion to episode Heresy this week. And initially people were thinking maybe it's bugged, and so people weren't talking about it too much just in case it was spoilers. We did have that really weird error code in the middle of doing the narrative where people were maybe speculating that Bungie brought the game down because they actually made too much go live. But if you actually look in the API right now, there are seasonal story challenges, and there are no seasonal story challenges for week 11, which is next week. So that means that the seasonal narrative is meant to conclude this week. This is the final week for the narrative in episode Heresy. We got the conclusion, and we're going to talk about it because it was interesting to say the least, right? It finished, and on top of that, we had the death of, we're going to jump into the spoilers now, so if you're not looking for spoilers, you have to click off. We had the death of Oryx with this, which was maybe expected by some, maybe not so much by others. I think it's a little bit of an interesting narrative to create where the whole premise of Heresy is that Oryx is back, and then we conclude by just killing him. So it's kind of like you bring this guy back just to kill him, and it doesn't really give us any progress. Like there's nothing we really gained or learned or grew from this experience really, other than just, I guess, seeing the drama, the family drama play out between the Hive Pantheon, right? So that was an interesting choice. Eris obviously also involved and tied into all of this. She dies, but she's also brought back. So it's basically they bring Oryx back and then kill him again. We're basically right back to where we were just before Heresy, right? So that's the part where it gets really confusing for people and where they think that the story is bad or they criticize it, because the goal for the narrative in Destiny 2 is we're making progress, we're pushing towards something, we're developing, right? There's a beginning and a middle and end to every good story, and we're right now in the middle. We didn't make any progress. We just started right back to where we were before Heresy launched. So very odd narrative decisions from Bungie. On top of that, we still don't exactly know what the conclusion is in regards to Eris being trapped in her own throne world. Like she's in there. I mean, I guess we can use the wheel breaker to cut her free, but we don't really see that happen or anything. So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. Maybe there's more that's supposed to happen. Maybe it's not just Act 3. Maybe there's like a cutscene that's meant to come out, or an Act 4 or something. As it stands right now, though, Act 3 just ended and there was no cutscene. And in every previous episode, there's been a cutscene, basically, you know, putting a cherry on top for that and like kind of guiding us onto the next thing that's meant to happen in Destiny 2. So everyone is really, really confused right now. There's no cutscene. The whole narrative ended abruptly and at a weird time, and we're really trying to piece together what is exactly going on here. It's also weird to think about that we're in April right now, and there's essentially nothing new added to the game other than Rite of the Nine in about 2-3 weeks. Other than Rite of the Nine, there's nothing until Frontiers. So that's like 3 months of nothingness. Like Bungie's going to have to start talking pretty soon here about Frontiers, because we are definitely approaching a really, really weird time in Destiny 2. We're approaching some serious content drought for Destiny 2. All right. So with all of those details combined, that is why the Destiny 2 community is super confused. Let me know what you think, though, about the narrative, about its conclusion. Were you happy or satisfied with it? What do you think is going to be the future with this, like the narrative where we're going with it? Initially, we thought that, you know, we were going to, you know, take Oryx's dreadnought and use that to leave the solar system, right? Like right now we're in Sol, and we were, you know, we assume that within Frontiers we're leaving, right? And we're going to use the dreadnought as our vessel to leave. it seemed pretty obvious, like that's where it was going. Oryx is the navigator, right? Like it kind of, you know, it made sense that that was the direction it was going. But now, with the conclusion of Act 3, it's like this crazy curveball, and everyone's just really confused. And being confused isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's the actual finality of the story is done, and it didn't end well, right? All of the acts and all of the story leading up to now was actually excellent, but the ending falls so extremely flat. Really bad ending, in my opinion. I think a lot of people that have been following the story and really enjoying it week by week are going to feel very unsatisfied with what happened. But let me know what you think. I'll be reading your comments down below. We'll bring you some updates if Bungie does say anything. As it stands right now, it's been several hours since the weekly reset, and they haven't said that it was like a bug or that like there's more to come or anything like that. So we're still in this sort of weird in-between stage where we're wondering what the heck is going on, Bungie. But that's a wrap on this one. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed, smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.